Hi, good evening. Welcome to an extra Jon Gaunt show. Starmer, no more words, no more weasel words. Let's have some action. You've been asleep at the wheel. So has Mahmood, and so has David Lammy. It's an absolute disgrace. You've put us into a state of terror, and as per usual, Starmer, you're missing in inaction. Lammy got booed. It should be you getting the abuse, and you, Mahmood. What on earth were you on about this morning on the telly? What do you make of where we are now? I'd love your views this evening on the Jon Gaunt Show, with you for about half an hour. So get your comments in now and we'll debate this if you fancy. So good evening. I'm Jon Gaunt. Tonight, I'm saying enough is enough. We've watched our country this week get gripped by terror. We've had hate marches by the uber-liberal, stupid pensioners and the great unwashed in London. 500 arrests. What a waste of police resources. What a waste of time. And what an insult to the Jewish population of our great nation. These people shouldn't have been filling the streets. And our so-called leaders weren't even tough enough to clamp down on it. The Home Secretary, Mahmood, says, there's not much I can do about it. I just wish people wouldn't do it. You useless piece of you-know-what. You're about as much use as a chocolate fireguard. You're as bad as a vet Cooper. Of course you could have done something. Thank God there wasn't any more attacks this weekend. And then what do you make of David Lammy? He goes to Manchester, tries to make a speech and gets booed. I thought it was brilliant. These self-serving pigs in Westminster and in 10 Downing Street need to know what the country thinks. I stand with the Jewish people of Manchester. They had an absolute right to boo him. But of course, the big question is, why was Lammy set up? He was set up by Starmer. Starmer should have been addressing those people. He was in Manchester. He just didn't do the address. He didn't go there. Why? I'll tell you why. Because we've got a chicken, an absolute coward, a spineless amoeba as a prime minister. That's why. When he did go earlier in the day or later, I can't tell you when exactly because there was a blackout when it happened. He had the streets cleared, obviously worried that Southport might happen again and somebody might shout at him and call him a wanker. Is that being a leader? No, it's not. Starmer, you are pathetic. And then he tried to plead with the pensioners, the great unwashed, the idiots who are supporting Palestine and therefore, by association, supporting a terrorist organisation called Hamas. We don't need to be arresting them. And if Starmer had done his job months ago and stopped these demos, along with the Tories when they were in power, these demos should have been curtailed much earlier. Listen, I'm all for free speech. I'm all for protest. But it was ridiculous they were allowed to go on this weekend. It's also been an affront to our democracy that people who are supporting terror are allowed to bring our great capital city to closure, to a standstill. This should have been tackled by that idiot mayor, Sadiq Khan. Of course, he won't. Starmer and every other prime minister before them. Because we've had enough, haven't we, of politicians who talk, tweet, tinker, whilst this nation is beginning to burn. Keir Starmer, David Lammy, and the new Home Secretary, Shabana Mahmood, they've all sleepwalked us into chaos. The Jewish community feels abandoned. The police are overstretched. And ordinary Brits, I think, are pretty damn scared. It's time to stop the excuses. It's time for real leadership. No more words. We need action. And I'll tell you something. If you don't want to take action, Starmer, get out. Go and be the director of public prosecutions. Although I know Jimmy Savile never came across your desk. This is a ludicrous position we're in. And I don't know if you've realised what else is happening now, ladies and gentlemen. What she announced this morning, Shabana, you say Shabuna, I say Shabana Mahmood, she's now talking about if we have demonstrations that happen more than once, she wants the police to have two new powers. Well, when you first hear that, you think, that's quite a good idea because these idiots have been disrupting London for too long. But then just think about what else she means. That means the migrant hotel protests could be stopped by the police. They've already done their damnness to do it. So what happens is, because these idiots haven't dealt with the Palestinian stroke Hamas terrorist-loving pensioners and the great unwashed, we've now got a situation where most demos won't be allowed to happen. That's the affront to democracy against, again, the decent, silent majority being targeted. And it's no surprise, is it? Have you seen Gary Neville, the ex-footballer, ex-Man U, and, of course, England? He's made a little video today about how concerned he is. But not concerned that two people got murdered in Manchester. No. He's concerned that the reason it happened was because somebody put a Union flag, or Union Jack as he called it, on his building site. Because he's a bit of a developer, isn't he? As well as a failed hotelier. So he's saying that that's where this comes from. So, of course, again, it's the white bloke who is responsible for this. What planet do these people live on? Joe Cox, the MP, who got murdered by a right-wing nutcase, right? Her husband, well, he was kind of her husband at the time, although evidently he was playing away. Brendan Cox, he's on there saying, we've got to come together, and what about the Muslims, and what about this? Can anyone remind me of when a Jewish person committed a terrorist atrocity in this country? I can think of quite a few Muslims who have. Now, I'm not saying all Muslims are terrorists. Of course I'm not. But why do the uber-liberal middle class twist this? So again, it's the white working class, the so-called Geminati, who are to blame. No. And let me ask you a couple of questions. How much of our tax money did it cost to police and arrest those 500 idiots, insensitive, smug, terrorist-supporting twats in London? A fortune, I should think. And will they they've been arrested, but will they be charged? I somehow doubt it. Will they be treated like the people who rioted after Southport? Or would they even be treated like Tommy or Robinson supporters? 28, wasn't there? 28 got arrested out of thousands. Well, even by their numbers, 150,000, only 28 arrests. There was 500 arrests, and there was only a couple of thousand at this pro-Hamas hate march this weekend. What is it with the Liberals? Why do they always side with the people who want to kill us, the people who hate us? And then why are the BBC still reporting it as, and the government, they're checking whether he's got Islamist links, whether it's an Islamist terror attack? Isn't the clue in the fucking name? His name's Jihadi. What about what his dad did? He celebrated October the 7th. He's a surgeon. He's away at the moment. I wouldn't let him back in the country myself if these allegations are correct. What would you do? I'll tell you what Starmer should be doing. I'm so bored of saying this. Secure the border, close the hotels, put the people who are coming in now in secure old army camps, rip up the CHR. I'm glad to see Kemi Badenoch talked about that today. She was making a bit of sense, in my opinion. That's what you need to do. But he'll do jack shit. Why wasn't he on the telly this morning? I'm sure the schedules would have been cleared. The Prime Minister wants to speak to the nation. No, he's hiding in his Downing Street bunker again. And did you notice? He took his wife, Vic, to Manchester. Not to the memorial service, of course, because he was scared stiff of that. He sent stupid Lammy to hear the boos and the jeers. But him and his wife did go, holding hands, the perfect couple. He is now scared of the British press and the British public. He's not a leader. He's not fit to lead. And I hope the smug, self-centered, stupid idiots are pleased with themselves. While they were wasting police resources in Trafalgar Square and in Glasgow and in other city centres, Donald Trump was bringing us a peace process. And this idea that somehow this guy in Britain, by killing Jews, will somehow help his cause is just bonkers. Just bonkers. But it's almost getting excused now by the liberals in this country. It's just all weak words. That bloke who used to run, I don't know if he still does run it, the SNP, not the bloke who bought the caravan, wee Jimmy Cranky's is he her ex-husband? I don't know. But the other one, Swinney, he's been at a rally today and immediately gets into Muslims are feeling persecuted. Listen, I know a mosque got burnt down last night, and that's wrong. I condemn it unequivocally. But we've had people now, prominent Muslim activists, saying, well, why aren't they calling that terror? Well, because they don't know yet, I presume. They're even not calling jihadi bloke terror. What is happening? There's an enemy within in this country, and Starmer hasn't got the cobblers to sort it out. I'm absolutely convinced of it. He's pathetic. He's a coward. At the weekend, he pleaded with these protesters to halt the demos. You're the Prime Minister. You should have taken action, not words. I put a tweet up over the weekend saying that Starmer disgusts me as much as those marchers. And there's nonsense about, oh, she's 95, she's in a wheelchair. Yes, she's broken the law. Tough shit. Do not pass go. Do not collect 200. Go straight to jail. But no, most of those lot won't even get charged. Mark my words. We've got two-tier justice in this country. And then Shabana Mahmood this morning says she's going to bring in new measures to restrict all our speech, all our free speech. What she means, she wants to shut up anyone who wants to object to their mass immigration experiment. This is what's happened, you see. The wheels have definitely fallen off their experiment. But they can't take it on their shoulders themselves. They're blaming us because we're all far-right extremists. Well, I'm not far-right. I haven't got a problem with anybody in this country coming to work and support legally, be part of our community. Of course I haven't. Why would I? Nonsense. But I have got a problem with people coming in their flip-flops, getting out of a dinghy, well, out of a lifeboat, because we pick them up halfway across the channel, and somehow jump in the queue. I have. And I don't know who they are. And I'm not too big to admit it. That scares the shit out of me. We don't know who all these thousands, tens of thousands of fighting young men are, do we? And then we hear about the sexual assaults, the rapes of our daughters and our wives. And we're not allowed to worry about that. And mark my word, the first time this new police power will be used will be at places like the Bell Hotel in Epping, when it's the pink ladies, mums, daughters and grannies protesting because they don't want these people living in their neighbourhood. That'll be the first time it's used. Oh, you've done a demonstration before. We've got a right to move it on. You can come and do it over here in this field, well away from the hotel. That is wrong. Do you think your government is with you? And I'm not even being party political here, because the Tories were just as bad. I don't think they're with the people. I don't think they're with the vast majority. And I think we're seeing that, whether it's Gary Neville talking. Oh, we're streeting. He's put up another tweet about, please remember Muslims all over the country are hurting and are in grief. What? Because some nutcase has gone and burnt down a mosque where there wasn't anybody in. Now, it's wrong, and I condemn it, but it's not quite on the same level of trying to break into a synagogue and slaughter young children, which is clearly what Jihadi was trying to do. Let's call him by his name, Jihadi. Oh, we don't know if it's Islamist terror. We don't know if he was just doing it on his own. What a crock of shit. Please, government, I'm pleading you, please be on the side of the majority and recognise that the majority don't want a race war, don't want a religious war, don't want to hate on Muslims, haven't got an effing problem. In fact, until 9/11, no one was really bothered. Until we started hearing Allah Akbar everywhere, people didn't care. They just didn't care. I just find this so annoying. So annoying and so wrong. They are completely out of touch with us, the public. I don't know about Lammy getting booed. If Starmer had gone, he'd have got fucking lynched, probably. Probably on a flag post where we're flying a flag. Now, that's wrong, and it's a metaphorical image. I don't mean go out and kill him. You do understand that, don't you? But can you hear my frustration? And I'm sure you feel the same, don't you? How is this happening? How come within minutes, it seems, it goes from an Islamist terrorist, which is what he is. It's clear. His name's Jihadi. How does it go from his crime of killing innocent people? I know one of them was shot by a policeman, but of course the policeman wouldn't have been there if he hadn't driven his car through the gates and started stabbing people. How do these uber liberals suddenly side? I'm going to say it, at the risk of being put in prison, the enemy. He's the enemy. I don't mean all Muslims. I mean him. Let's deal with it. Don't start putting the blame onto those boys and girls who've been putting up flags. It's just nonsense. That's what's... I mean, I know Gary Neville's just a thick footballer, very good footballer at one point, but do you understand what I'm trying to say here? I'm sorry. I've lost my rag. I came on tonight saying, don't lose it too early, John. Don't lose it too early. And I'm not hearing really anybody in the media. You listen to all these big talk jocks. They're all petrified, scared of their own shadow, sort of half sitting on the fence. And then just while I'm on this subject, I will give credit to GB News. They interviewed the pensioner, not very well, but they interviewed the pensioner who he mentioned in his speech, Starmer. She'd been all over the newspapers as well. But clearly, what Starmer said was a lie. And no one's picking up on that and having him for it. You know, his whole speech about, we had a cup of tea and rich tea, and she made me realise 10 years ago what the problem is with our views on racism. I'm wrong. It took you 10 years to fucking realise. What are you, Starmer? What are you? And David Lammy, look, asleep on the job there as well. And Shabana, they asked her on the Laura Kunsberg program, we understand you have considered resign. No, I didn't. You did. Why are you lying? You're another one. You're another out-and-out liar. You think we're mugs. You think we're stupid. And Starmer, you're going to have to come out of your bunker. When are you going to talk to the British public? And I'm saying it clearly now. I'm with the Jews on this, 100%. The Jewish population, they've been ignored. Their kids have been getting abused and attacked on the streets and stuff and all the rest of it. And foul and anti-Semitic graffiti and the rest of it. But I don't remember the last time the Jewish people bombed us. I don't remember it. A Jewish person, I should say, rather. It's not the whole community, is it? It's not the whole Muslim community. But this situation cannot carry on, Starmer. If you don't take real action, you're lighting the fuse. Do you not understand that? You know, because you can push and push and push normal, sane, decent people, but then they snap. Nobody wants that. Listen to me. You've obviously got no experience of the real world. That's why you didn't understand about people fiddling their tax or doing a foreigner. Anyway, I've got to stop using that expression. But anyway, listen to somebody who does know about the real world. Me. Don't keep surrounding yourself with idiots who are going, oh, okay, yeah, you're wonderful, right? You're a prick. And you're leading this country into the abyss. Right. Feel a bit better for getting that off my chest. If you agree with me, you know what to do. If you disagree, you know what to do. If you like the show, whether you agree with me or not, press the like button. 33 if you've done that already. Thank you for that. Also, as well, if you'd like to donate, press the little $sign underneath the video and donate as much as you can. Or if you're not watching on YouTube, you're watching somewhere else or you're listening somewhere else, go to www.buymeacoffee.com/Jon Gaunt and buy me a coffee or buy me a beer. They're $5 a piece. Let's go. All your comments now. Loads of people. Please be patient. Good evening, Gaunty. Coming to you live from my kitchen. Oh, yeah, this is Jake, who last week told us what he was cooking. It was brisket. This week, it's roast pork with crackling and homemade Yorkies. Oh, you peasant. You don't have Yorkshire pudding with anything but roast beef, Jake. You're a typical softy southerner. No, nothing. I'm only pulling your leg. This new Home Secretary idea is definitely aimed at the migrant hotel protest, says Elric plays games on YouTube. You've picked up on it as well, then, have you, Elric? I'm right, you know. It just suddenly came to me. I know what she's doing here. They do it every time. Rather than pick on the enemy, it's always a way of curtailing our freedom of expression, our freedom of speech. This government is the most totalitarian in their kind of respect to free speech. That's what she's doing. The Epping protests are over because they work by it being everyday people being there. That'll be banned. Mark my words. The government has one demographic they protect. I'd call this blatant racism against anyone that is not that demographic. It feels like that to me, Internet, as well. Maybe they think, well, the Jewish community, placid, easygoing type of people, no tradition of trouble, blah, blah, blah. We won't worry. Lived here for hundreds of years, haven't got a problem. But you're pushing that community now. Nobody wants to see reprisals. Nobody wants any of that. Of course not. But also, it's the people we're letting into the country. We're letting undocumented people into the country, right? But even the documented people, look at Jihadi boy. Jihadi, his mum and dad were let in. He was about 6 at the time. What's the proper vetting of that? I know it wasn't these lot in power, but it's the same establishment class. Who are we letting in? I said the other day, the British passport is a valuable commodity. Why do we give it away like fucking green shield stamps if we still have them? You know where I'm coming from. This is just absolute madness. What's that? Roy Dav, Planet Money. I don't even understand what that means. Well, Starmer is out now. You'll all need to get rid of the party. He's out where? Well, Starmer is out. Now you all need to get rid of the party. That doesn't make any sense, James. Try and write it again. Maureen Kelly's given me loads of claps. Thank you, Maureen. Didn't take her to Southport, she says. Are you talking about Keir Starmer and his wife? No, he didn't, did he? Isn't that odd? Isn't that odd? It's all very odd. Well, I'm not going to say any more at the moment, but you might understand in a few weeks. Let's move on. Gary Proctor, the whole rancid lot needs to go. Correct. Mick, Frinton-on-Sea, Starmer and Putin have one thing in common. They're both hiding in bunkers. Thank you. I must just tell you something about that as well. Kemi today, she said she will deport, and this also sums up what the problem is. She was on with Laura Kusenberg, or whatever her name is, on the BBC, and she said, yeah, we're going to deport 150,000 people, minimum, a year. And so Laura Kusenberg said, where are they going to go? And basically, Kemi, in a very polite way, was trying to say, I don't give a flying where they're going to go, right? That's what she was saying. But Laura, she asked about 5 questions. Where are they going to go? Where are they going to go? Laura, wake up, smell the coffee. I don't care where they go. They shouldn't be here. If they're illegal, they shouldn't be here. It's not our concern. Don't you understand that? We want our kids educated. We want a doctor for all those things. I'm sorry. And most people who think like this, they're not racist, Laura. They just don't live in North London like you do, drinking your skinny lattes, going skinny dipping in Kefalonia with your Birkenstocks on, love. They're ordinary people. And they're not racist because they live next door to other people who are all the different races. Bit like that old age pensioner told Starmer 10 years ago. Most people are not racist now. What they don't like, and the British public have never liked, is people taking the mickey, getting an unfair advantage, being treated with kid gloves. They don't like that. They don't think it's right. And that's why Kemi now has got a chance of picking up some votes, in my opinion. Right, Starmer needs a blind dog to take him for a walk. I love that. Nice one. All these celebrities living in their mansions, I guess you're referring to people like Gary, make me sick with their anti-British politics. I don't begrudge them doing well for themselves, but don't preach to me living on a council estate, living amongst the consequences of this far-left ideology. Our life experiences, Gary, are polar opposite. What a brilliant tweet or comment. Thank you, Denise Deacon. Correct. Starmer is not worthy of leading the country, says David Swan. Thank you very much indeed. Wow, I'm knackered already. I do apologise. 43 likes. I'm loving it. Could do with a couple of donations, though, please. Now, click the $sign if you fancy and donate anything you want. What else was it? Or go to www.buymeacoffee.com/Jon Gaunt. Subscribers. Don't forget you can subscribe to my TV channel, Jon Gaunt TV on YouTube. It's free and always will be. It just means you then get information about when I'm going live. You also get access to all the archive. And I know I'm looking a bit like the Incredible Hulk on this side. One of me lights isn't working quite right. I need a new bulb for it. So it's giving me that green tinge off the green screen. Although the way I feel at the moment, I could rip my shirt off. Ooh, crush a grape, John. I'm so angry. I can't tell you how angry I am. Don't be afraid of being called far right these days. Far right just simply means normal. Yeah, I think you're almost right there, Eric. They've used the term so much. Mahmood is a hypocrite. She's been on at least one pro-Hamas hate march. Well, she would say it wasn't pro-Hamas, to be fair to her. She'd say it's pro-Palestine. But you're right. She closed down a Sainsbury's. There's pictures all over the internet of her. She is pro-Palestine. She is. And I think that's where she can't cope with the position she's in. She's a Muslim as well. So she's in a difficult position. I accept that. But you have to rise above it, don't you, guys? Don't you have to rise above it? I think so, if you're the Home Secretary. Or maybe I've got that wrong. Annette Locke, they rule by fear to keep power. Well, that's certainly where it's heading towards. You're right. Michael Francis, Jihad, his first name gives you a bit of a clue. Yeah, I made that point earlier, but thanks for making it again, Michael. You're absolutely right. We don't know if it's Islamist. Oh, what's his name? Is it Bert, Fred, Jim, George? No. Muhammad? No. Oh, okay. No. It's jihadi. Literally, as my old mate Richard Littlejohn says, you couldn't make this flipping up, could you? Hey? Madness. Fluka Tony, who's been a big donator to me. Thank you, Fluka. It's very simple. We're not safe in our own country. And that's down to this government and the last government. You are absolutely right, my friend. Lord Jim Dandy has just donated £1.49, well, £1.50 probably, it's on Apple, as a super sticker by clicking the little $sign. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for your support. Every penny counts. David Large, hi, John. I've just started following you. A majority of us are okay with legal migration. that obviously benefits the country. Of course we are. Well-controlled, managed immigration has been good for us, David. Some of it's been positive. I'd say most of it, personally. Anyway, however, there is a danger within. How much more are we expected to put up with? Sorry to say, it's not the end of the attacks. I'm afraid I agree with you, David, as well. We approach Christmas with expectations of terror. Action needs to be taken on this government, as it's all very strange. Thank you, David. You're right. It's got the Christmas markets coming up, haven't we? Do you remember when we had them, when they first started? I used to go to Birmingham, get pissed about, have a few jars, have the big sausage and all the rest of it. There were no barriers. There was no concrete barriers and armed police patrolling. Now there is. But I don't want to be rude. It kind of takes a bit of the atmosphere away, doesn't it? When you're walking past a copper tooled up like RoboCop. Why are we being forced to live like this? I guess that's what I'm trying to say to you guys. And weasel words are no longer any good. We want action. Graham Hatton, if this government don't take the bull by the horns and nip it in the bud, well, a bit late saying nip it in the bud, isn't it? Then there are deeply concerning dark times ahead. I'm not having a go at you, Graham, but you know what I mean. Cities will be burnt and lives will be lost. God help us all. Now, a few weeks ago, I said, stop being so alarmist, Graham. But I can't really argue with you, man. I can't. Joanna Kempton, she's just put £4 into the pot. Thank you, Joanna. I know you're a regular long-term listener. She's bought a super sticker. Just click the little dollar sign and she's donated. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much indeed. I've got some good news, by the way. I'll tell you now. I shouldn't really. We've gone up to 1.4 million views, but I've not had the certificate yet. I've not had the official announcement, but I can see in my stats. I think we might hit 1.5 Tuesday, perhaps. It's incredible. And it's all down to you lot, telling people, saying, oh, have a listen to this, have a look at that. My little short videos, flashing them forward on your Mobi. You know, the ones when I start ranting and my mate AI, he clips it all up. Yeah. The more of that you can push out for me, the better. But the biggest thing you can do to help, join Jon Gaunt TV. It's free. Subscribe. Just go to Jon Gaunt TV on YouTube and click subscribe. So you can do something to help even if you're not very flush at the moment, because I know everyone's tight, aren't they, at the moment? This isn't the Labour Party. They're communists, pure and simple. I don't think they're that. I don't think they can spell communist myself, Annette. I just think they're idiots. Sixth formers. They're still selling the socialist worker outside Woolies like they used to on a Saturday when I was a kid. It was always the geography teacher, wasn't it? Not major, majority. I mean, yeah, I've already done that, mate. Thank you there for correcting it. Over 150 churches have suffered arson attacks in the past 5 years. Google it. I don't need to Google it. I know what you're talking about. Even Notre Dame Cathedral, they say that was an electrical fault. Oh yeah. If they don't mention that though, do they? No, they don't. Excuse me. I've got hiccups. It's all right. Don't call the doctor. We'll get through. So am I. Says somebody. I think they're saying they're agreeing. You're so right, says Barbara Sullivan. Thank you. Well said, John, says Jean Brenland on Facebook. Hello, Jean. Are you a new listener? A watcher? I hope so. Jackie Ward, useless. The whole lot of them. Jackie's not new. But she says useless, the whole lot of them. The Starmer-led Labour Party depressed me. Depressed me. I just can't believe how pathetic they are. Well, that's what I'm saying. They'd go up in everybody's estimation if they just grew a pair and got tough. I thought this Mahmood woman, everyone told us, oh, she's hard. She's as hard as nails. Listen, I've had toffee fudge out of Thornton's front window. That's been chewier and tougher than her. Where are we going next? Ross O'Brien on Facebook says, well done. A lot of people agree with me. If you do agree with me, put a couple of quid in the pot, please. Easy Tiger. Evening, John. Oh, thank you. I like your name. John. As long as you're a lady. John Houston. Well said, mate, and keep it up. Thank you very much indeed. Den Sprinks says, the Jon Gaunt Show. Bring it on. Thank you. Now we're getting some big support tonight. Thank you very much indeed. Who have we got here? Hold on a minute. Lee Goatee. He's just put a quid in as a super sticker. Thank you, Lee. Every pound counts just by clicking the little dollar sign. Lord Jim Dandy, I've already done him, so I've mentioned him. Yo and hello, shared, says Stuart Lowe. Thank you. Warwick Mill says the real problem is the SH1T that's already in and trying to take over. That's the issue. The new rabble is just tipping people off the edge. Do you know what? I'm not sure about that, Warwick. I don't think anybody wants to take over. I just think we've let people in who haven't got the same outlook on life. I mean, do you remember when Salman Rushdie and the fatwa and all that, and then burning effigies in the street? That's just not something we do here, is it? But I just think we're minutes in terms of the history of the society away from that. That's not what we are. We're pretty tolerant. You know, we roll with the punches, etc. But it's being changed. And that's not everybody who's coming in, is it? But surely if you come to live in a country, you've got to abide by the rules, haven't you? But we don't have any rules. So it goes back to Tony Blair when he said, there's all kinds of families. No, there's not. Well, there are, but the best family is a mum and dad and not having kids before you get married. And, you know, some of the traditional values. I'm sorry to sound so outrageously right-wing, but didn't it work better then? And maybe I'm wrong, you know. Everything goes. I don't know. Richard Pope, Lammy had more booze than the Cov fans yesterday. Lol. 5-0. Play up, Sky Blues. You're not taking the mickey out of the mighty Sky Blues, are you? By the way, they were brilliant. I watched it on the telly. Did you? It's fantastic. Somebody said to me today, I said, oh, well done to Cov and da-da-da. Oh, what about Sheffield Wednesday? Well, the absolute honest answer to that is, what about them? But I know they're going through terrible struggles and a lot of the players haven't been paid and all that. It's terrible. But don't forget, Coventry were in the shit years ago. Only just got out of it, really. We can't then not play them. And I'm sure they wouldn't want it. Can't play them properly. We hammered them. We were brilliant. They were rubbish. I tell you one thing, though, I'll give to Sheffield Wednesday. When the boys, when all the Sheffield, well, they'd all gone home early anyway. But when Coventry were leaving, they played our little anthem. We've got a new anthem now. You know, we live and die in these towns by the enemy. And they played it over the Talos system. I thought that was very sporting. So if you were responsible for that at Sheffield Wednesday, well done. I just thought that was right. And that, you know, because football fans in the end, of course we care about them, but we've still got to beat them. And also now, of course, we are top of the division. I never doubted. I've apologised. I'll apologise again. He's a brilliant manager, isn't he? They're not incompetent, says Steve Burton. They keep us fighting between ourselves while they're draining our money ready for the implementation of digital money, all controlled. Starmer said he preferred Davos to Westminster. Well, that's very true indeed. I don't know what he's going to do. Well, the ID card's not going to happen, is it? Because the public have said no, clearly. But we'll see. Come back, Guy Fawkes, and try again. I know you're only talking metaphorically. We don't want any attacks on MPs. Lord Jim Dandy has just put 149 into the pot on a super sticker. I think I mentioned that earlier, but thank you. Sir Keir Starmer, vote for me. That's funny. Yeah, very good. Simon G, we are all in trouble. They can't even identify the problem. Because if they do, they lose the Muslim vote. What a very good point, Simon. That is the case, isn't it? So much of this pandering is because there is a massive Muslim block vote. And several of their MPs lost their seats or nearly lost them. Jess Phillips, for example, there you go. That's what's going on. That other Burke who's always on GB News from Leicester or somewhere, he lost it. A similar thing happens, to be fair, in the States. You know, the Jewish political lobby is very strong, just like the Cuban vote is. But in the end, all of that is wrong. All of that is wrong. We can't be voting on sectarian lines, can we? Lee Goatee, I mentioned him earlier, but he put a quid in. Thank you, Lee. Very kind of you. Where are we going next? Craig Morrison. Hi, John. I totally agree with you. Thank you. Gaunt, I can see you reaching 2 million, says Joanna Kempton. Well done and congratulations. Yes, but don't forget, it's unofficial at the moment. We're now at 1.4 million. I should get my certificate. tomorrow, hopefully. I don't think they work at the weekends. They're American. So once I get that, that'd be great. But I think we'll get 1.5 million. Hopefully, if you lot keep watching everything and passing the words on and looking at the older ones, maybe get to 1.5 million by Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm completely, Joanna, in awe of it. I just can't believe it. So anyway, but thank you. I noticed how quiet the London mayor has been with the continued support for the Palestine supporters. Met police officers are having their days off cancelled every weekend, says Terry. Yes, Terry, you're right. It's a disgrace. Where he has condemned the killing, to be fair to him, but he could say something about the protest, couldn't he? But in Great Britain, people are still asking for COVID cancer clot jobs. What's that got to do with our discussion today, Hula? You know what I'm like, what I've said before. Don't do it. Don't do it. You want to do your own agenda, set up your own YouTube channel and see how many people you get listening. But don't do it here because it's not right. It's not what we do. It's like when people go, vote reform. No, it's not what we do. Left and right all agree on one thing. Keir Starmer is a... Yes, okay, thank you very much indeed. Greater Manchester Police were in London helping yesterday. Well, yeah, I saw that. Several police forces had to come and help. I mean, the whole thing is just ridiculous. And most of this can be solved overnight, can't it? What we need to do is control the borders so no more people can get in illegally. We need to close the hotels, get rid of the soap, and tell them they're going to stay in camps. Send videos out. They've all got a phone showing that clearly now we're no longer a soft touch. So that deters more people coming. It's quite simple. Then we secure the borders with the army on the beach and Navy in the channel. So that's that, right? Then we'd have to do what Kem is saying and what Reform have been saying and find out who's in the country. And if you've got no right to be here, I'm sorry, it's bye. Chucks away, Stelios. Now we're going to be nice. We're going to even send them back on a plane. Knowing this government, they'll even give them a couple of grand so they can get started up again, back in their homeland. If they don't know where they come from because they lost their passports, we'll send them to some godforsaken place like Estonia or Ascension Island, right? And we'll process them there slowly. Or they can return home. But then we have to say clearly, anybody who turns up without a passport, but with a mobile phone, I'm sorry, you're not coming in. There's nothing wrong with that. None of that is racist. I don't know where this racist nonsense is coming from. Well, I do. It's the uber liberals, isn't it? And the people who don't really live with the consequences of this ridiculous open door policy we've had for the last however many years. But something's got to give. Starmer, make a name for yourself. Grow a pair and do something. And because you can't hide, you can run, but you can't hide. You've got to now do something. You've got to now do something positive. And what she proposed this morning, Shabana Mahmood, won't do it. It won't cut it. That won't stop it. It won't stop it. And pretending you don't know that somebody's an Islamist fanatic doesn't help anybody. Just like when you don't give the colour of the skin of the person who's alleged to have done a terrible crime, it doesn't help. We're all grown-ups. I'm not going to go out and attack everybody in my local Indian restaurant if I find out that somebody who's assaulted somebody is of Indian extraction. Why do you treat us as if we're madmen or animals? We're not. Why do you treat us as if we're thick pigs? Why do you do it? What gives you that right, Starmer? But it's not just Starmer. Previous politicians have been like it as well. And then we've got this man. He's actually asleep in that picture. And that wasn't hard to find, you know. It's just ludicrous. Anyway, I've had enough. Thank you very much. Hope you've enjoyed the show. If you have, that's fabulous. And if afterwards you think, yeah, I did enjoy that, I'm going to send him a cup of coffee or a beer just go to www.buymeacoffee.com/Jon Gaunt. You've got a few seconds left where you could press the $sign and do it here. If you're watching this later because you listen to it on a podcast and you've not watched the TV version of it, thank you very much indeed. You can still donate. You know how to do that as well. Oh, look, there's Jackie Ward. She sent me my red love hearts. Thank you, Jackie. She loves the show. That's great to see. I was just going to say something here then. But what the biggest thing to do is obviously to like it. And the biggest thing to do is to join Jon Gaunt TV on YouTube and subscribe to it. So if you can do that, that would be brilliant. Simon G says, keep up the good work. I don't think that's my brother. I haven't spoken to him in about 10 years. Be good if it was, but never mind. That's it. That's me done then. I'm off. I shall Country File tonight, isn't it? I love that program. That's one of my guilty pleasures. I shall speak to you tomorrow night, Monday at 6:30. Thanks for joining in on this impromptu one. Looks like we've got good audience for it, which is brilliant. And we'll have the official good news hopefully tomorrow. But let's keep the pressure on these politicians. We need action, not words. We've had enough words. We have had enough words. Now we need action. If you've got kids, give them a kiss, give them a hug. Don't forget to tell them you love them, and I'll see you tomorrow night. All the best. Thank you. Bye-bye.